welcome into round 2 of the Bro 4 Squads Comic Movie Madness Tournament with the Mad Scientist Brian Banner and Jeff Hornacek. I'm Matt Geiger. Before we get to our live matchup of the day, Banner, take it away with our fan vote.
All right, guys. Remember, on all these matchups, you guys can vote on our Facebook page, Bro 4 Squad Podcast, our personal Facebook pages, Twitter, email us on the actual bracket itself. www.bro4squad.com is where you can find all the links to all those different pages. First fan vote that we've got here for this show is Superman versus Batman Returns.
Woo!
This is a close one, guys. It didn't get as ugly as some of our past ones has. There's just some really good points here. First one, we're going to go out to our boy Hannibal Miller, and he says, it's got to be Superman the movie. This almost single-handedly started the superhero comic genre in film. Made us all believe a man could fly, and how perfect was Christopher Reeve. Superman the movie, WTF.
Hannibal, good friend of the pod, and I don't think it almost started it. It fucking did.
Yeah, man, Hannibal Miller, he's a big Superman fan, just like me. He's a DC brethren. Does very great movie reviews. If you get a chance, subscribe to his channel. You will not be disappointed. But I'm with him here. This is a DC versus DC matchup for sure. But the original Superman, it did start pretty much everything. Yeah. They're the like Elvis Presley of the comic book movie genre.
One of us said before, I don't know if it was Banner or you, we literally probably wouldn't even be having this tournament if that movie wasn't so successful.
Yeah, and they got some big actors to be part of it too, like even before the original Batman.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's another thing he brought up, how good was Christopher Reeve in it. You also had Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman in it. Like, those guys were just fucking ballers back in the day. And to do kind of at the time, like, let's be honest, a superhero movie would be an obscure movie to do back then. And they killed it.
Right.
All right, next fan comment we have is from Abbas Khan. We've quoted him before. He always has some good
friend of the pod.
Good comments. Great friend of the pod. We appreciate your comments here. And he says, Batman Returns, one of the best superhero sequels ever made.
Yeah,
guys, what are our thoughts on that?
I can't disagree with that either. It was fantastic. It kind of set up the after credit scenes that we have now with Catwoman still being alive before Joel Schumacher basically took a stake to the heart of the vampire that was the Batman sequels, but very, very good sequel, very well casted. I enjoyed it. With Max Schreck in it, they had DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer. It was fantastic.
I loved how Tim Burton in the first Batman, people were like, "Holy shit, Tim, that was dark." He was like, "Oh, that's gonna look like a fucking Happy Meal compared to what I'm about to do here in the second one." And I don't care who you are, if you try and tell me that as a kid, Danny DeVito in This Is the Penguin didn't scare the shit out of you, then you're just lying.
If you don't tell me he doesn't scare the shit out of you as an adult, you're lying.
This is a tough one to vote on. As a DC man, I don't know which one I'd pick. I feel very bad for our fans, which is probably why it was so close.
Yeah, because we're pussies, so we gave the tough ones to the fans.
Yeah.
100%. I was just about to say, the reason you guys got this is because we didn't have the balls to do it.
No way we could do this.
Next fan quote we have is from Phil Bridgewood, and he says, Batman Returns, better writing and acting.
Yeah, I think Phil brings up a good point here. This is where Superman's at a disadvantage because back then, there's no way that in a superhero movie they would ask these actors to bite off this much to chew like Tim Burton did. Like, Michelle Pfeiffer's performance is incredible. Danny DeVito is, like, so off the wall, but it just clicks. Like, back in the 70s, there's no way that before this genre was even established, they would try to do anything this crazy. So Batman Returns has a big advantage there, I think.
It's hard to do. It's kind of like grading fashion, like is 70s fashion better than 80s fashion? I mean, it was a different time, so I can see how acting back in the 50s or 60s looks almost cheesy now, but back in the day, that was fantastic acting. I mean, you can never say anything Marlon Brando did was cheesy, but it's like I said, I think Superman took on Suicide Squad in the first round, and that's just so hard to judge those movies. I mean, obviously Suicide Squad's fucking terrible, but you know what I'm saying. It's very hard to judge. It still
stole some points from it.
It did, yeah.
And because of a generational gap there.
For sure.
But for people that, we're obviously like 90s kids, but for people that are older, especially our parents' age, Christopher Reeves is and for always will be Superman to them, and I totally understand that.
Brandon
100%.
Routh is my Superman. Not.
Brandon Routh, Superman.
It was a joke.
Right. Can we mute his mic for a little bit? He's not allowed to talk anymore. Ding the shit out of him right now.
Well, I can't remember his first name, but Dean Cain is my Superman. How about that?
He's on the Supergirl show too, because guys got to eat.
No, he's not.
Friend of the pod. Okay. All right, guys. Last fan quote we've got for this matchup: Superman versus Batman Returns. We've got Jonathan Young, and he said, "This ain't even close. I almost fell asleep in Batman Returns. 1. They crammed 2 supervillain origin stories in. 2. It darker than dark. Dark of the darkest dark. Underlit. Black. 3. Long. So long.
That's what she
2
said.
pee breaks long. That's a
Wow.
good point. Does that mean Watchmen's like 8 pee breaks long?
Watchmen is like 4 shit breaks long.
4.
How many does he have?
He's got 5.
Okay.
Predictable with giant set pieces and explosives that will destroy Gotham. That, of course, we know we're not going to destroy Gotham. And 5, I did not care about a single one of those characters except maybe Alfred. And then he ends his quote with, "It sucked." Very passionate post there, Jonathan. We appreciate it. Guys, I mean,
I
know there's some stuff I don't necessarily agree with, but I'll let you guys take the floor first.
I'll just say real quick, Jonathan, really good friend of the pod. He always is really active on our page, especially on mine, helping out with this stuff. I mean, Burton took a risk. It was not going to resonate with everybody, and if it didn't hit, then I think Superman is just the easy fallback to say that you enjoyed it better. So I definitely respect his opinion. I loved both movies, and again, I'm a pussy, so that's why we asked the fans to vote on this, because I did not want to have to make this decision.
All I want to say is, what's the overall score? I haven't even seen the overall score. I've been really busy today. Who won?
All right, guys. You guys decided this, and I can't make this up. Like I said, we don't have balls. We would not have made this up. Superman took the cake by 1 vote.
Wow.
Wow.
Suck it, North Korea.
30 to 29, Superman took it. Superman is moving on over Batman Returns by a vote. All right, guys?
So the person that's listening right now that's saying my vote doesn't count, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
There you go.
All right, now to some early highlights. And, of course, we are grading these films on 5 criteria: cast, story, best scene, impact on pulp culture, and rewatchability. And if you're saying to yourself, Matt, what does that mean? Stay tuned. We'll grade one live here just in a second. But earlier today, Incredible Hulk versus Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises took it 9-6. Dark Knight Rises moving on to the Sweet 16. Watchmen taking on the original Iron Man. Watchmen didn't have much of a chance here. It lost 14-1. The original Iron Man is moving on to the Sweet 16. And now for our live matchup of the day. Movies ready.
Let's get it on.
Tacos ready?
Order up.
I feel so bad doing this. X-Men 2, X-Men United versus Batman Begins. And like I said, this is how Brutus probably felt hanging out with Caesar all day before he stabbed him in the back. This is how I feel hanging out with Banner all day.
We're sharpening the fucking knife in front of him, just as a sadistic way to show him it's not that.
This was Banner's. He thought this was a 1 seed. We'll see.
I think I made it a 2 seed.
16. So let's go acting and cast first. Banner, Banner, this is your thing.
Give Banner first on every category.
Do you want to go first in every category?
Yeah.
I don't mind going first. Acting and casting, I gave it to. I'm changing my mind.
You can't do that.
I gave it to Batman Returns or Batman Begins. Excuse me.
Okay.
I've gone back and forth all day with that. I really wanted to give it to X2. I mean, Stewart, Jackman, McClellan, Halle Berry at the time, and then Rebecca Romijn. She's just so fucking hot. But that's tough to go up against Bale, Kane, Holmes, and Oldman. I mean,
yeah,
that's all I got. I had to go Batman Begins.
So I was gonna give this point to Batman Begins, and then Michael Caine showed up at my apartment and told me, never. So This was really hard. At the end of the day, I'm just be totally honest. The tiebreaker and what gave it to X2 was Katie Holmes sucked. She was so out of place in this movie with all these other incredible actors. Cillian Murphy owns the screen. We know how good Bale and Neeson are. Kane is quite the actor, and this is my type of speed of film. But at the end of the day, have to give it to X2. Geiger.
Wow.
I'm the DC guy, so I gave it to X2. Two reasons.
That makes sense.
Two reasons. One, I hate saying this, but give me McClellan over Michael Caine any day.
Wow.
And two is because, do you really expect me to give this point to my third favorite Batman behind Affleck and Keaton to the best Wolverine ever fucking played that'll ever be played?
Wow.
I'm going to give it to X2. Sorry, but I know my DC friend. I love Batman Begins. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
But let me ask you this.
I think it's a better cast. I think X2 is better casted and acted, which is another thing that we grade on.
But do you think, like me, because I know you think he got in the best shape for this movie, this is Bale's best performance of the three?
Yeah, but he got progressively worse. But and Jackman got progressively better.
True.
I'm kind of taking that in consideration. So it's 2-1 X2 right now. Story, Banner.
Story, I gave it to X2. I mean, this just the idea of two opposing sides that view the world differently, having to come together for a common goal, but then at the end, still turning and still fighting with each other. And we really, really see the relationship between, or we start to see how Magneto's view of the world is and how he respects Xavier with the utmost dignity and the utmost respect for him, but yet he's still willing to let him die for his dream and his goal and what he wants to accomplish. So I had to give it to X2. It was very well done, with kind of the team breaking up and then coming back together in the end as well.
Jeff?
So I was going to give best plot to X2, and then Ian McKellen showed up and said, Charles... and I had to go back to Batman Begins. Look, let's say this. I remember seeing this movie and almost crying with tears of joy because I said to myself, Christopher Nolan just saved my favorite superhero with Batman Begins. Such a good fucking origin story. Such a good slow cook. Like, he does not don the actual Batsuit until like an hour, 20 minutes in, which I know Geiger's going to get a boner for. X2 was a great story and really brought a lot of humanity to these mutant characters that we didn't really get to know that much in the first film. This was a tough one. Had to go Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. This is the Batman movie we all fucking deserved. That Batman Year One or whatever your favorite first year Batman comic is. The League of Shadows are in it. Ra's al Ghul's in it. Very well casted with Liam Neeson. This is something we deserved, and it was so fucking perfect. You know I'm a kicker for origin stories. Probably the best one I've ever seen.
Yeah, this and Iron Man are just
3-3, which means it's a tie.
What's a tie? What does that mean?
Going into, I believe, a landslide vote for best scene. Banner, kick it off. Best scene.
It's Nightcrawler.
Yep.
Yeah.
At the beginning of X2. I mean, I don't think we really even need to talk about it.
Should we all talk about this, or
well, I have one thing to say about Batman Begins. The Nightcrawler scene may be a top 2 or 3 scene in this whole tournament, but... And I talked about this before the tournament. I don't think Batman Begins has like a one incredible scene. First time at the docks when he is stealing the Falcone's men are smuggling in the drugs and the teddy bears is kind of cool, but it doesn't have like one iconic scene to me. X2 does, so that's why I get the point.
Whenever he turns into the Bat Vampire, that's probably one of the best ones, maybe. But
yeah,
not action packed like the first. And like I said. The first scene doesn't have to be the best scene. I've always said this, but it has to set a tone. That movie fucking set a tone once I sat down. I was like, God damn. And Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men, too, and they did him very well.
Yep.
Yeah, guys, when I went back to grade all these, I watched all the movies, and I just said thoughts about each one of our categories. For Batman Begins, I had the best scene is when all the prisoners escape from the prison, and they're running loose around Gotham, and the hallucinogen is all fucking... horse breathes the fire.
Yeah.
It was so dark and gritty. That was the scene that it went up against, which I think was a very good scene. It was a middle of the pack, if not upper echelon for the tournament. But they started a movie right with X-Men 2.
6-3, X-Men 2 beating the favorite, Batman Begins, but going into another category that might be a little lopsided. Effects on pulp culture, Banner.
It's got to be Batman Begins. I mean, it brought back comic book movies. It brought back Batman, which, I mean, what would comic book movies be without Batman movies?
Yeah, I say Batman Begins also arguably the most important comic book movie we've ever gotten, just because of how much it changed the game, what other directors and actors tried to do with it after this, and it gave us the best superhero movie, in my opinion, ever in The Dark Knight, and not only that, it, like I said, it saved Batman, so Batman Begins gets it for me.
Batman Begins for me. The best trilogy ever besides Star Wars, the original Star Wars, in my opinion. I mean, the best 3 movies ever. I mean, you got Batman Begins.
I would put The Hangover up there.
Okay, yeah, the second one's
Crocodile Dundee got in that conversation.
But, I mean, the best trilogy ever. So, that tied the gap, man. 6-6 going into the last one. Rewatchability, Banner.
I bet on this, too.
Rewatchability, I gave it to X2. Guys, this is my favorite X-Men movie. Yeah. It's my favorite X-Men movie. I love this one. The way that Magneto goes to save Xavier and their relationship, and without developing those characters, you felt their relationship, and it only got stronger in future movies. But again, this is my favorite X-Men movie. I can't go against it. That's not to say that I can't watch Batman Begins every day, but if I had to pick between the two, it's got to be X2.
Banner, I have a question for you. What is the point of all those push-ups if you can't lift a bloody log? This was tough for me, but this is what the fans wanted, and this is legitimately how I voted it. It's going to come down to Geiger to decide who advances, because I give rewatchability to Batman Begins. They're both great movies, but every time this movie's on TV or every time someone is watching it, I just get a smile on my face because, like I said, what Christopher Nolan did changed cinema, superhero movies, and this is just a great film. Like, they're both good, but this is like an auteur's version of Batman, and it was awesome to see. Geiger, you are the controller right now. What's going on? Who wins?
I really want to know how Banner graded Crow versus Civil War because of you. But this is what I'm going to do, okay? Just because our podcast, how we base this is we have a DC guy, we have a Marvel guy, and we have a Fox guy. Besides Deadpool, we don't have one of these. And The Dark Knight, I think, is really going to have a chance. I'm going to pass X2 on. Simply because it was the greatest X-Men movie. And Batman Begins was a fantastic movie, but it was not the greatest Batman movie. In my opinion, not even close. It's not even close to The Dark Knight or the original Batman, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with rewatchability. After Banner made me watch this, I don't know if I'd watch it more, but I'd watch it just the same amount as Batman Begins. So yeah, let's throw X2 in. It's the best X-Men movie in my opinion. I'm gonna pass.
It is, and I think that I want a public record, Geiger, you thanking me for making you watch this movie.
Yeah, it really was. I totally forgot about it just because of everything Fox, and it's on Fox, man. They actually did make a lot of good movies in the early 2000s, but they just kind of shit on them because of all the problems with their direction and everything, and it's really sad because they did make a lot of movies. And the fact is, the only reason I'm doing this is because Christian Bale, how much I praised him, you're the 3rd best Batman, and we can't let the best Wolverine ever just not have a fucking movie in this tournament, in my opinion. So X2 wins. All right, guys, there you go. X2, and it's shocking. I can't believe I just fucking did that.
It's not shocking.
Let's just keep going. Batman Begins. The original Iron Man moves on. Dark Knight Rises moves on. And Superman the movie, because of you guys voting, thank you very much, moves on. To go over everything else and check out our bracket, go to our website, bro4squad.com. You can also check us on YouTube and iTunes. Subscribe to both, please, and Twitter at bro4squad. And also like us on Facebook, Bro4Squad Podcast. Until then, we'll check you back in round 2.
You can inbound a rose if you like. Just bring it back with a full tank.